Most people think mental strength is something you're born with, but that's not true. In reality, there are 3 habits silently destroying your mental toughness every single day, and almost everyone does them without realizing it. Meanwhile, mentally strong people train their minds using a few surprisingly simple habits that anyone can start today. And one of these habits was used by Navy SEAL David Goggins to completely transform his life. But before we get to those habits, you need to understand one critical thing. Your mind works exactly like a muscle. If you never challenge a muscle, it stays weak, unprepared, fragile under pressure. And the same thing happens with your mind. But to understand how powerful mental training really is, consider this. One of the greatest examples of mental toughness comes from a man who once weighed nearly 300 pounds. He was miserable, overweight, and going nowhere fast. That man was David Goggins. When Goggins decided he wanted to become a Navy SEAL, he had only 3 months to qualify. So he made a decision that changed everything. He lost over 100 pounds in less than 3 months. He woke up at 4 a.m. every single morning. He ran miles when every part of his body screamed for him to stop, and every time quitting felt easier. He chose to keep going. That repeated decision transformed him into one of the toughest endurance athletes in the world. And his story proves something powerful. Your limits are rarely physical. They're created inside your mind. And if you're serious about developing mental strength, subscribe. Because this channel is for people who actually want to improve, not just watch motivation. Here's where most people sabotage themselves. Because there are 3 habits quietly destroying mental strength every single day. And the third one is the reason many people stay stuck their entire lives. The first habit is something almost everyone does. Complaining. Think about the last time something went wrong in your life. Maybe you blamed your schedule. Maybe you blamed your boss. Maybe you blamed bad luck. Complaining feels harmless. But every time you complain, you reinforce a victim mindset. And that mindset destroys resilience. Mentally strong people follow a very simple rule. Fix the problem or accept it. Everything else is wasted energy. The second habit, destroying mental strength, is avoiding discomfort. Growth never happens inside your comfort zone, but modern life trains people to avoid discomfort constantly. We avoid difficult conversations. We avoid difficult work. We avoid anything that feels uncomfortable. Mentally strong people do the opposite. They deliberately seek challenges because they understand something powerful. Discomfort is where growth actually happens. But the third habit is the most dangerous of all. And it's something millions of people do every single day. That habit is making excuses. Excuses sound logical, they sound reasonable, but excuses quietly keep people trapped in mediocrity. Because every excuse removes responsibility. And without responsibility, there is no growth. Mentally strong people don't waste time explaining why something is difficult. They focus on what needs to be done next. So how do you actually build mental strength? The habits that strengthen your mind are surprisingly simple, but the first one is something most people hate. Cold showers. Before you dismiss this, understand what it does. Stepping into cold water. First thing in the morning is a deliberate act of choosing discomfort before your day even begins. And that single choice trains your brain to do difficult things. The second habit is exercise, because physical strength and mental strength are deeply connected. When you push your body past what feels comfortable, you're also training your mind to endure pressure. The third habit is meditation. Meditation trains you to observe your thoughts instead of reacting to them. Instead of being controlled by stress or emotions, you learn to watch them pass. Even 10 minutes a day can dramatically improve focus, emotional control, and resilience. But there is one skill that might matter even more than all of these: the ability to control your emotions under pressure. Mentally strong people are not emotionless. They simply refuse to let emotions control their decisions. Here is a technique that works surprisingly well. The next time you feel anger, stress, or fear rising, pause. Take one deep breath and slowly count to 5. That tiny pause creates space between the trigger and your reaction, and that space allows logic to override impulse. Think of emotions like waves in the ocean. They rise, they feel overwhelming, but they always pass. When you allow emotions to dictate your actions, you lose control. But when you observe them without reacting, you become incredibly stable under pressure. Imagine the most successful person you admire: an athlete, an entrepreneur, a leader. Now imagine how many times they failed before you ever heard their name. Because here's the truth: failure isn't the opposite of success. Failure is a requirement for success. Every failed attempt teaches you something valuable. Every setback builds resilience, and every mistake strengthens your ability to adapt. The only real failure is quitting completely. But there's one belief that quietly sabotages millions of people, and it's something most self-improvement advice gets wrong: motivation. Here's the truth most people never want to hear: motivation is unreliable. Motivation disappears the moment things become difficult. Discipline, however, shows up regardless of how you feel. Mentally strong people don't wait until they feel motivated. They build systems. Instead of saying, "I want to get fit," they commit to going to the gym 5 specific days every week. Instead of saying, "I want to improve," they build daily habits that force growth. Small, disciplined actions repeated every day create extraordinary results over time. Now think about everything we covered. Your mind is a muscle that must be trained. Complaining weakens it. Avoiding discomfort weakens it. Excuses destroy it, but discipline strengthens it. Cold exposure, exercise, meditation, facing challenges, controlling your emotions. These habits build mental strength over time, but the real question is simple: will you actually apply them? Because knowledge alone changes nothing. Action changes everything. So start today. Do one difficult thing, then repeat it tomorrow. And if you want more ideas that push you to grow, subscribe. Because most people watch videos like this, but very few actually implement what they learn. Your transformation begins with the choices you make today.